Welcome to She's in the Weeds.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Hollis.
We're best friends exploring the intersection of pop culture and the female experience.
Be sure to follow us on socials and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you love us, give us that 5-star review.
Nailed it?
I think it's fine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello. We're back. Get ready for a rip-roaring episode, y'all.
One thing I will say, I know all the listeners are just like totally on the edge of their seats about is the potty training update.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Please.
So I know I had said my heart wasn't in it, and that was the truth. And it really just kind of went horribly. And I was like, okay, we have to just reset and take a break. And we did. And I was like really gearing myself up to like, okay, we've reset, we've taken a break. Now it's like, I've just got to commit and do it. And that first day that we started the second round, it was so funny because my 2-year-old was like, oh, I have to go pee on the potty. And she just went in and sat down on the potty and went pee in the potty.
Miraculous.
And, you know, sometimes...
Could you do this the whole time?
Right. And sometimes you do just like... You're just putting too much pressure. Sometimes just like taking the pressure off the situation and like taking a little break just will do wonders.
Yeah.
And it's not, of course, it's not been totally smooth sailing. It never is, but it's been very stress-free. She's really picking it up and
advice you can apply to so many things in life.
Yes.
Just take the pressure off.
Just take the pressure off.
Ease it up a little bit.
That's right. Which is a really hard thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. It was something like that because you're like, she has to learn how to do it.
She has to learn. Right. Exactly. And like
And
the
the
longer
sooner
you
the
put it
better.
off, like it's just like you want to get through it and you want to get to that spot of like, because even once they get it and everything clicks, there's still this situation of managing it. Whenever you go somewhere, it's like, okay, did they use the bathroom before we left? How long are we going to be in the car when we get to this place? Like, are we running errands? Is there a bathroom at this place? I mean, even once they get it, you're still managing the situation for quite some time after that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad that we're moving in the
right direction.
less stress direction.
Yes. No, for
So,
sure.
sometimes you just got to take a break.
Yeah.
Reset.
Yes, we'll come back to this. We'll circle back.
Circle back. That's right. Podcasts
The
need circle
old
backs.
Circle back.
And life needs circle backs.
Amen, sister. What's up with me? I thought I was going blind today.
Tell me more.
I had an eye issue. Well, like I touched my eye earlier in the day and I was like, ow, it was like tender. And then I was like, that's weird, huh? And then later I was in a meeting that would not end and it started really hurting and scratchy, and I felt like I could feel something lodged like up my eyelid really high, like back here. And I was like, oh no. And okay, my first thought, honestly, we were just talking about how tick season is really bad.
Oh my God.
And like, this is how diabolical my mind gets sometimes. I was like, oh my God, there's a tick in my eye. Because my dog,
Can
I've
you
been
even imagine?
taking my dogs on hikes and she's been getting like crazy ticks. Because it felt like something crawling almost. Because there was like something stuck. And I was like, oh my God. And I was in a meeting and my mind was just like
Racing.
going insane. I was like, there's a tick in my eye and they won't shut up. And I don't know what to do. And it was like making some goop, you know? And I was like, oh dear. So I went in there and I flushed it out and was like, you know, trying to look up my eyelid, which you can't do. And I think finally the eyelash came out. I think it was an eyelash that got cut up there because there was like one that dislodged that didn't look like a fresh one.
Yeah.
And I was like, that must have been it. It feels a lot better now. But I was like,
Ew, it
were...
didn't look like a fresh one.
Well, you know, it didn't look like one I pulled off of my eye.
I get it.
That was a gross way to say it, though. It's not a freshie. It looked like, you know.
Little waterlogged.
A little waterlogged, yep. So I'm okay now. It feels a lot better. I think that was the culprit. I don't think there's a tick in there.
That's good.
Which, I mean, new nightmare unlocked for sure.
Oh my God, for sure.
Ooh.
The ticks are so bad.
They really are. I mean, I don't know. This is my first summer, I guess. True summer with a dog. Well, it's not true.
I was like,
I
what
had
is
her
she
last
going to
summer.
say? What do you mean her first summer?
It's my first summer on Earth. And let me tell you, it's pretty
My
wild.
first true summer.
I guess I had Sookie last year, but she was like a little puppy.
Yeah.
She's like a full grown dog now, and like taking her in the woods and for hikes, and she's just like covered in ticks.
Yeah.
It's bad news. So
Yeah.
have to be like extra diligent. Anywho, I'm not going blind. I think everything's fine.
That's good. That's good.
It's a little bit of a scare.
Yeah, I live in tick country, so gosh,
yeah.
I'm constantly. I have to check every time we come inside.
What do you do? Do you flush them down the toilet, or do you burn them, or?
Yeah, I usually flush them.
Yeah.
So far we haven't had any attached, so that's good. But
That's good. Yeah,
yeah.
because you know firsthand.
Yeah, I had Lyme disease.
Yeah. Check out
Mushroom Journeys.
Check out Mushroom Journeys.
Yeah,
for a
my
full story.
my husband is he has a YouTube channel about mushroom foraging. So if there's any what's the word I'm looking for? Any crossover
Audience.
yeah, if there's any crossover audience, if you are listening to this podcast and you're also interested in foraging, check out Mushroom Journeys.
Just the show for you.
That's right. So yeah, I had Lyme disease, and luckily I haven't had any like long-term issues from it. I was about 11. But I will say, and this is something that I've wondered about other people who have had tick-borne illnesses, if now when I do get bit by a tick, which has happened a handful of times.
You've been bit by a tick a handful of times?
Oh yeah.
Then?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, we all get at least one, I would say, attached
Really?
to us every year.
See, I have this fear that like, and maybe this isn't the probability, but I'm just like, oh, if I get bit by a tick, I'm surely getting a disease.
Yeah, no.
It's not that bad.
My husband has 2 or 3 probably attached to him every year.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily have one every year. I would say in the last 5 years, I've had one about every other year.
Yeah.
I get bit and I find it and take it off. But the bite won't go away. I have to go to my doctor and get it injected with steroids to get it to go away.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And I wonder if that's
I bet,
like something to do with that.
residual-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's really annoying. And
Yeah.
another friend of ours my husband's had Rocky Mountain spotted fever
Ooh.
and like almost died.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy.
Well, an alpha gal.
Yeah, I know. It's so prevalent now.
I don't like that.
It's scary for sure. But I will say the ones that I've found on myself when I have gotten bit were not disease carrying ticks either.
How do you tell the difference?
Well, you can watch
I'll
Mushroom
watch
Journeys
Mushroom
video.
Journeys, okay.
But it's typically a certain types of deer ticks.
Okay. Oh,
like
deer ticks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It also has to be, I think if you find it within the first 24 hours of it being attached to you, you're fine. Has to be on you for a while.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Ew, yeah, when they're all bloated. Ugh. I have a memory of when Gizmo, our family dog, had like a big one on her. It was so disgusting.
Yeah,
looking.
they're gross when
So
they're like
foul, yeah,
have been
full of
feeding.
blood. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew, now I feel them crawling all over me. It's not, I hate that where you just like,
Ew.
you talk about
No, I
something
know.
and then you can
They're on me. It's the worst.
You sound like Rachel Zoe just then.
I
Ew, I die.
I die for fashion. Oh man, I'm not dying for her fashion. We've talked about this. Like, I need her to
I
bring
mean, I
it.
love her looks, but I would appreciate some variety.
Yeah, we're over the caftans. Okay, do we need to talk about the latest summer house?
It's just getting worse and worse for the Wests and the Amandas. All the stuff. I mean, them making up. And her just like, can we just be best friends again?
I
And
know.
then, oh my gosh, what a jerk.
Well, and the whole like, and again, like this is something I feel like maybe would not have made the cut had, we not found out this was going on. But Amanda being like, oh, the first night I'm not there is the best night you've had. Thanks, West.
Damn. Yeah. And then even Kyle calling her out and being like, wait, so were you being sarcastic? She was like, no. And he was like, oh, so you are just making it about yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, first of all, it's weird on 2 levels. Like, you're that self-involved that you're like, I'm making this about me when it was just like a benign, happy comment. And then the real reason why.
Right?
And then what was it at the end of the episode when Jesse tells her that like they made up and they're friends again?
Oh,
And
well,
her reaction.
and that they're going on a double date.
Yeah. And you could just, I mean, and this is the thing. Is like, if we didn't know all this information,
We
would
would-
we see that and think
Probably
anything of
not.
it? Because was she really being concerned for Sierra's well-being, or was she being like, oh, I don't like the fact that they're getting closer?
I mean, watching it through this new lens, there have been scenes where I feel like I've been able to say to myself, like, I can still see that not being, but some things I have been unable to see it from any other way of, she is jealous.
I know.
And she is like, I mean,
sort of plotting in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was so jealous. That's something too we didn't talk about with the episode before, but she was jealous of that girl that he was making out with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it was so obvious.
Yeah.
And I think I would have thought that and thought, that's kind of weird.
I know, it's so crazy, like,
And the way she went and laid on the chair with them.
oh yeah, and then like, look at
I think I would have thought that was weird even if we didn't know what we know.
Oh, it was weird.
I would have been like,
look
what
at my
is
butt
she
as
doing?
I walk away.
Yeah.
That's very strange. Are you talking about that
Yes.
one? Yeah. Yeah, and like, I would imagine if you were Kyle and Sierra watching it back and just being like, wow, I can't believe it was just like in my face.
And even if, take all of that out, like, let's just say we're living in a world where they aren't hooking up, they never did, but she still does that. That is so, I'm sorry, I don't care what kind of relationship you have with your friends and whatever. That is so disrespectful to your husband. It's so clear that you hate him.
Yeah.
I would never say that to I would never say that to anyone, period. Like, oh, look at my butt when I walk away. But especially not in the context of like your group of friends that you and your husband are both friends with.
Yeah.
It's just disrespectful.
Well, yeah. Anybody would be upset by that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not looking good.
It's so funny. I keep seeing, because now there's been a 4th audio leak. Have you been seeing all this too?
I didn't know there was a 4th one, but
I haven't
I keep seeing people like, sorry, Andy, I've listened to all 3 leaks.
Yeah, I haven't listened to any more past the first one, but I've been seeing all these things now that there's been so many leaks where people are like, just give us the entire uncut reunion. I will watch 15 hours at this point.
I know.
Like, just give us the
That's how I
whole
feel
thing.
too.
I know,
because I'm like, there's got to be good stuff in there they're not showing.
absolutely. Just give us the whole thing.
Right, exactly. Extended cut.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe we'll get a little bit extra
Yeah.
on the old Peacock. But also, can I just say, I am tired of Lindsay being so mean to Carl.
Me too.
I'm over it.
I was just going to say
she
that.
was so mean to his mom.
She was so mean to his mom. She was a bitch walking up. I mean, I get that, like, you're with your girlfriend, you're being a little catty and funny, but it's just like, get over it, Lindsay.
Right.
You have a baby. You've moved on. If you're not going to go and be nice, don't go.
Right.
Like, why are you even
If you're not
showing
going to
up?
go and actually be nice and supportive, don't go. I agree.
Yeah.
And also, like, can we stop pretending like he did something so awful?
No,
he did you a
exactly.
huge favor. He had the balls to make the right decision and call
Yeah.
off the wedding and save both of your asses.
Yeah, Lindsay's always been a mess. Like, the way she handles situations.
I know.
And she somehow always comes out on top. I don't get it.
I like Lindsay. I like her way more now than I did in the early seasons of
Yeah.
Summer House, because she was very mean girl and just
Yeah.
like, I do think she's evolved. I don't think she's quite as activated as she used to be. But yeah, I'm tired of just either decide that you're going to forgive whatever wrongdoing you think he did and actually be supportive and be a friend to him. I'm not saying you have to be best friends. I think it's weird when people are best friends with their exes and like hang out.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do that. But like, you don't stop acting like he's so awful, because she's
Yeah.
still doing that.
I also do not sign on for the whole, like, oh, he's finally doing something 2 years in the making a softbar. Like,
that's
okay,
so mean.
Lindsay, exactly. I was like, he's doing just fine.
Right.
He had some legitimate ideas. He's
Yeah.
a human being. Like, so
Right.
most people don't figure out exactly what their purpose in life is until this age. And like, he did something huge. That bar
Yeah.
looks amazing.
Yeah.
I know. And her shitting all over it, I just want to be like, shut up.
I know.
Like,
I
don't
know.
go. What are you doing?
And I understand she is obviously harboring some feelings about whatever his mom said last season.
oh my
But
god.
like, all she really said was, yeah, she was mean to me too. And
and
like,
she was.
yeah. Yes. And I know we're not privy to everything probably. I don't know what kind of like relationship they had or whatever, but like she was so cold to her.
Yeah, and she could tell she was just like laying it on really thick.
Yeah.
Like obviously trying to be like, I
have
want her to get away from me.
I have
I'm
no
trying to-
interest in.
Extremely immature.
Yes.
And
yeah.
like if you have no
And
interest.
like this is his mother. Did you think she was going to be on your side?
Right,
Whose side
exactly.
did you think she was going to be on?
And like if you really didn't want to talk to her, you could have just said nice to see you and left. But no,
or you could have
stood
just
there.
not come.
Yeah, you stood there and you made faces and you deliberately made it uncomfortable and made
Yeah.
her feel like an idiot. I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah,
I
don't
didn't
know.
like
I didn't like
that.
it either. I'm glad you felt that way because on Watch What Happens Live, Andy was like, I thought it was really big of you to go. Or something like that. Like, I'm really glad you went. And I was
Yeah.
like, I wish she wouldn't have.
Well, I even feel like Andy, when she kind of responded the way she responded about a couple things, Andy was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I
rude
mean?
And mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, oh, your boyfriend wanted you to hug him, so he's a soft boy. Like, come on.
Yeah.
He asked for the bare minimum in a relationship. He's
Right.
allowed to ask for affection.
Yeah.
He's allowed to ask for a little softness. Like,
Right.
get
I
over
know.
yourself. Well, I'm glad you felt that way too. 'Cause
I did.
I was not liking it very
And
much.
I am really bummed that we're not going to be seeing Carl on In the City.
Me too. I feel like I really want to know what happens to Soft Bar.
I do too.
I really want to know. Like his storyline actually interests me a lot more than most of them.
Oh, right? I know. Same.
Maybe they will. Hopefully enough people come for Carl.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of all over social media too.
Well, and he's got his podcast.
Yeah.
He started a podcast. I've listened to a couple episodes. It's good.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, the focus is on sobriety, and yeah, he's been interviewing different people in the Bravo sphere who are sober, and then just like different, you know, personalities and people.
Yeah.
Like the running theme is sobriety, but they talk about other stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's doing a great job with
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Good for Carl.
Yeah.
Okay, I also have to get your take on Sabrina, Ben's girlfriend. I get weird vibes from her.
A little bit. Yeah.
I was truly laughing out loud when she was like, did you tell him about Christmas?
I know. And then
He was
she's like, and tell him my favorite part, the best part. About how like the girl he took home is basically going to be
Yeah.
the girl he marries,
I
which is
know.
what she wanted him to say, and he
Right,
kind of skirted
exactly.
around that
And you
part.
could tell he was just like
Yeah.
embarrassed, and KJ was like,
Mhm.
okay, cool.
No.
And then she was like orchestrating the date. It
Yeah.
was just like, this girl's giving, I don't love this term, but what some would call stage 5 clinger vibes.
Yes, she definitely is. Well, and it's funny because Bailey on Watch What Happens Live was saying Ben was with her the whole time.
Yeah.
Here's what I wonder. Because he was on the Australian Bachelor. So it's not like this is his first, like,
Rodeo,
he might be
yeah.
a little thirsty, which is fine. This is a career for people. I get
Yeah.
it. I'm wondering if he thought he would have a better season if he came in single, quote unquote single,
Yeah.
because he could create some
Have
kind of
more fun.
storyline for himself, have more fun. Because, like, people that come in with a partner don't typically
do as
end
well.
up being breakout stars of the show.
Yeah, no, it's true because they don't have as much to do.
Exactly. And there's not
They're
as much
coming home at
drama.
night, yeah.
So I almost wonder if he was like, they had a conversation. He's like, I'm going to go on this show and be single.
I'm
Because
going to go on the show and try to sleep with Amanda a couple times.
Yeah.
And when that doesn't work out, then you can come back in.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
I wouldn't either.
Because they
Yeah.
seem very much
Strategic.
like, yeah, she's very comfortable very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I know
Yeah.
they had this thing before that they're supposedly rekindling, but.
Right. No, that's a fair assessment.
And then when he realized he wasn't going to be the breakout star anyway,
Yeah.
or that he wasn't going to get with Amanda
right,
in
exactly.
front of Megan.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh,
dear.
man. Yeah, can't wait for that reunion.
I know, right? Apparently there's a nude circulating of West.
Oh, great. Just what the world needs.
And everybody's just like making fun of it. Oh my God.
Making fun of the overall
The
thing.
whole photo apparently is
Okay.
just like sad and like it's like a mirror selfie.
Oh no. It's not even one he like sent just of himself.
Yeah, I don't know how it got
Nude
out.
Mirror selfie. Oh
Yeah.
dear. Yeah, that's not a good.
No.
It just what came to mind doesn't look good in my imagination. But for real, R.I.P. to his grandma. That's
oh my
sad.
God, that's wild.
So crazy. What is with people?
I don't know.
Killing their parents and grandparents.
I
lately?
don't know.
We got to get these. Maybe these boys do need help. Maybe there is a
crisis.
Maybe it is a crisis.
I mean, there is a crisis.
It's true.
The crisis is violence against women.
Yes,
grandmas included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a serious mental health crisis with a specific sect of.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah,
oh,
wild.
Boy. Yeah, that's.
I guess it happened the night after they filmed the reunion.
Oh gosh.
Or maybe the same night, but yeah.
That's a couple really bad days in a row. Oh my God.
Yikes. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we talk a lot of smack, but we hope you're doing all right.
Yeah, no, seriously.
That's awful.
I know. Yeah.
But
any hoodly doodly.
Diddly diddly do. Oh, the last thing we have to talk about are the hair necklaces or neckties.
What is this?
I guess it's somebody they know. I don't.
I don't like that
Maybe
at all.
It's fashion, but I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I didn't like West's and I didn't like Lindsay's.
I liked hers even less.
Yeah. Also, like,
but keep making your art, girlfriend.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
support your
also, is there like
endeavors,
ethical horsehair harvesting?
Yeah, that's. I guess, is it synthetic or is it real? We don't know.
I think he said it was horsehair. Why would there be synthetic horsehair?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I figure this day and age.
Yeah.
I don't know. PETA would come for you if you use real horsehair.
I don't know anything about it, but yeah, it's not for me. Okay.
All right.
Are we going to talk about Millie Bobbie Brown?
Let's do Millie Bobbie Brown. Yeah, so there's this video circulating, or it's not even a video. I think it's a series of photographs.
Was it a series of photographs or just that one?
No, there were 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. Let me see them. I only saw the one.
So it's a series of photographs of Millie Bobbie Brown and her husband, like getting out of a car, carrying their babies and their baby stuff. And she is captured in these photos looking like she's carrying all the stuff. She's carrying the bag, she's getting the baby carrier, while her husband is like seemingly carrying nothing, talking to somebody on the street with them. And now everybody's like, red flag. He's making her do everything. How dare he? And I'm just wondering, as a mother, do you think, I mean, I'm sure this happens all the time. I see it happen daily. I have 2 thoughts of like, this very well could be the situation. It also just could be like a photo.
Right.
That everybody's reading far too much into, like the 1 second he's not carrying all the things and she is.
Right.
What's your take as a mother, your first impression?
You know, this has been a trend for a while, and I think it sort of started to come up when all of this discourse started around mothers carrying the mental load, and that kind of sometimes translates into also carrying the physical load. And there's been a trend where people will make videos when they're out in public and they'll take little snippets of videos of families, and it will be like the mom carrying a baby, pushing a stroller with a backpack, and the dad's just chilling, walking. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. If you're going out in public, you're going to be able to find that.
Yes.
And if you're seeking that out and making that video, that's what the video is.
Right.
I will say my personal experience, my husband carries the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He just does. A lot of times I will push the stroller. Sometimes he does, but like he's carrying the bags. It also doesn't necessarily have to be that way. I will say, in terms of like putting the baby in the car, I have typically done that. It's not that my husband can't buckle them in, but I just do it.
Do it more often.
I do it more often, and so I can do it faster. And sometimes the kids are like less squirmy with me because, like,
they're
just
used to you.
Yeah. But can my husband install a car seat and harness my kid into it? Yes. I do think there is, unfortunately, probably a lot of husbands who can't do that. Who can't install a car seat correctly or harness a child in. And I think, yeah, that's a problem. Like, you should be able to do the bare minimum to like keep your child safe. I think unfortunately, Millie Bobbie Brown was getting hate when they adopted the baby in the first place because people were like, she's only 21 years old. What are they doing? People like to hate her. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. She seems so likable.
She's fine.
To me.
Like, she's fine. Leave her alone. I really don't think those pictures say anything. If I'm being honest, like, because it's one instance in how many they've had, who knows.
No, I agree. And I think this is just like getting out of a car with a kid is always kind of like seemingly a scramble.
Yeah.
It's just like, and they can't both be doing everything.
Right.
You know?
And I do think, and this is maybe just like my personality, but I think a lot of women and mothers too, sometimes we do have like control issues too, where it's like, just let me do it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it.
Well, I mean, I will say when we went to Colorado, when your first daughter was like really young, I witnessed that. She was young, and I think there was very much you knew what to do. And it was like, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's much faster this way.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, get in there, help her. But then it was like, no, they have their thing. Like, they have their process. And everybody's process is different, and they do it what works the best for them, you know?
It's also like, you know what? If she feels like she wants him to do something, she'll tell him to do something.
Right,
like,
yeah. I'm sure they communicate.
She doesn't need the internet to be like, look
no,
at this
100%.
one picture and be like,
yeah, this very much screamed like we're desperate for anything.
Right. And I'm not saying that men don't need to step up and do more. Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you cannot tell anything from that picture.
Right. Yes. A picture doesn't speak 1,000 words.
Not always.
Is that this phrase?
Yes.
Yeah.
And now we've gotten to the point to where we are making pictures speak far more than they should. Yeah. Pictures used to speak 1,000 words before we had platforms to speak 1,000 words about them.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God.
Amen.
So what else do we got?
Okay, this is a very small sidebar, but I am obsessed with this Chanel ad.
I couldn't figure out what it was.
Jacob Elordi, and he's merman.
Okay, yeah, on the sharks.
I don't know what it is about him. Well, obviously he's gorgeous, but
I
love the merman concept. I don't know why. So the other thing that I've been seeing on the internet that like is bothersome to me is this Olivia Wilde post. So now the new person being speculated upon is Olivia Wilde, and there's this really insane video of her on a red carpet. And again, you can tell the video is kind of like warped in a way almost. Like
that's what it looked like.
Like she does look very gaunt, and she has, the Ozempic face. There's also like shot in a way where like her eyes are huge.
Yeah.
It's a little out of proportion or it's skewed in some way. You can tell a little bit. And I mean, she is incredibly thin. The problem for me is like all the speculation is, another Ozempic face, another tragedy. She's concerningly thin. And everybody is posing this speculation as concern. Like, we're just concerned for her because she's so thin. I just saw it and went, this is it. Not that I didn't know we were already in it, but like, this is the new thing we're going to be constantly doing to women now. It's just like, first we were chastising them for being too fat, and now it's going to be any thin woman. We're just going to speculate till the end of time about whether they're on Ozempic and what does that mean? Because a lot of it's ambiguous. A lot of it's not even hate. It's, like I said, posed as this concern, but it's thinly veiled as concern, where it's still just like we are obsessed with women's bodies and what the shape and size of them means. Yeah. And says to the world. Right. And it's just like really exhausting. It is concerning that there is a trend of extreme thinness. Yes. And like, it is hard not to look at them and be like, this sucks. But then it's also at the same time, it's like, we haven't gotten past this obsession though. This obsession of just over-examining women and their bodies.
Yes. No, I agree. And I feel like we talked about this before when we were talking about Amy Schumer and that thing she did where she like deleted all of the photos. Yeah. And then it kind of turned into a conversation and that was there was all of that discourse around Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo at the time too. Yeah. And it is, I feel like, a double-edged sword because on one end, I think we do need to be concerned about some of these trends and what that means and what we're telling young girls and women and
what we're deciding the new standard is.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, it's hard to figure out how to have discourse around that and still not talk specifically about women's bodies and especially like individuals.
Right.
And I don't know that we've figured it out yet. I see it too all the time on TikTok and Instagram, whatever, where there's this one particular influencer I follow. And yeah, it's clear that she has lost some weight. But she also posts these videos all the time. She has a home gym and like she's working out all the time. And I saw so many comments of being like, oh, just another influencer on Ozempic. And then some people were commenting and saying, do you even watch her content? Because like she's working out all the time and like she's worked really hard for this. And so there's also this sort of other layer of we hate people when they're fat and we want to be like, get off your lazy ass and go get unfat. But you have to, there's only one way to do it.
Yeah.
And that's to eat in a calorie deficit and get your ass in the gym.
Yeah. Quit being lazy.
Quit being lazy. And it doesn't matter what you're actually doing. If you are getting unfat, we are now going to be like, oh, you're just on Ozempic.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't matter when you're fat. You're lazy and you don't matter when you're fat. And we hate you then. And now that you're doing the thing that is supposed to give you value as far as our society is concerned, we still hate you because we're going to say you're still being lazy and using Ozempic, and that's not the right way to do it, so it doesn't count.
Right, exactly.
It's like, it's so crazy.
Right. The concern isn't about the thinness or the fact that they might have disordered eating in some way. It's the fact you're doing it with Ozempic specifically.
Yeah.
You know, like that's, it's just like, it is a truly double-edged sword because it's sick in both ways.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know.
It's poisonous at both ends.
I know. And like, I do see all these thin people and it's like, it's not that they're doing Ozempic. It's that like, man, the level of thinness is crazy. Something we haven't seen in a long time.
The Academy Awards was very eye-opening.
Yeah, I know. And I think we talked about that a little bit. And
I think we were going to. And
did we not?
We never got to it. And I think, too, we're like...
I know, like, should we?
We struggle with what are we going to talk about? Because we talk about it amongst ourselves. We see it. But yeah, I mean, we don't want to put specific women on blast. We don't want to contribute to the narrative around specific women's bodies. But at the same time, it is concerning.
Right. Well, and just like we were talking in our last episode with Havoc, it's like, how do we talk about a topic
that hasn't come out yet?
Okay, well, we talk
this comes
in another episode,
and we can announce it because if people want to watch it.
Oh,
so our next episode will be Pop Culture Archives, and it'll be the movie Havoc.
Yeah, and one Hollis of the topics is going to like, sorry, I
make a relation now. No.
There, we were talking about an instance about perpetuating stereotypes and like telling a story with a stereotype, and if you talk about it correctly and resolve the story, it can be positive.
Right.
If you don't, you're just perpetuating a stereotype.
Right.
And it's like, is that what we're doing when we're talking about the way we perceive thinness without some sort of like clear resolution? I don't know. It's like, that's why sometimes, like earlier I was talking about how, man, I feel when I see myself on clips and photos, I'm like, I'm starting to look old.
Yeah.
And I can see aging in my face for like the first real time. And my initial reaction is like, I don't like that.
Right.
And then I have to be like, oh, it's fine. It's okay. I don't feel that way when I look in the mirror. It's only when I see myself back that I'm like, oh my gosh, like things are starting to sag. There's like shallow.
We got to start taking Polaroids, like Cher. No,
right. But I was telling Sam and I was like, but do I talk about that on the pod? Because I don't want to, that's not what I want to perpetuate, but it's also how I feel.
The truth of how I feel.
And it's how, like, as women, we are constantly looking at ourselves and dissecting ourselves.
No, I know. And I feel the same way, too. I've talked about this a lot, how I'm a lot vainer than I would like to be. And it's like, do we be our truest, authentic selves and say how we truly feel? Or is putting that message out there, like, perpetuating this whole thing system, of, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we never talked about Nikki Glaser either.
Yeah, I know.
I guess it's just so much of her message is like, she's very open about the fact that she gets plastic surgery.
And will be getting a facelift and all of that, yeah.
And, you know, she was on Call Her Daddy, and they talked a lot about it, about how, you know, she's already like, in a few years I'll get a facelift, which is, that's crazy to me. That you're planning it before you know what you're going to look like.
What your face is going to look like.
Yeah, like, you made, I also feel like preemptive plastic surgery just seems like, I don't know, a hill we haven't crossed yet, but I guess is like the new phase of it, where it's like,
and like preventative,
yeah, that's what I meant, is like we're doing that to avoid ever aging at all.
I know,
which, like, we talk about this too, more power to anybody who wants to do it, but I feel like her almost her platform is like normalizing it, which I think in a way is cool, because if so many people are doing it, there shouldn't be any shame around it.
Exactly.
Which I think is what she's trying to avoid. And I think that is true. I think shame about anything is bad. Like I said, it's a poison.
Yes, shame is a poison.
If I quote myself. So I think that's a positive. But then it's also, I'm really torn, because I'm also like, now I don't want the standard to be you have to get a fucking facelift.
I know. And I know we say this all the time. Everything is so layered, because there's this whole idea around too, because she's very like, pretty people make more money. They do better. They're treated better. Like,
yeah,
I'm out here in heels. Like, I want to look as hot as I can for as long as I can. And there is power in that as women. I feel like you can, you know, if we're going to speculate and have narratives around women's bodies, and quite frankly, our bodies are probably the easiest way for us to capitalize, the easiest thing for us to monetize. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like there can be power in that.
Yeah, I agree.
And so it's hard because
it is the reality.
Yeah.
Too. It is like, I think she's speaking from truthful experiences where like doors opened up for me. I know that like I would not be as successful if I didn't look a certain way. And I think that is the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
And she also makes the point often that like, I can afford to do all of this.
Right.
And, you know, she has a job. She's a celebrity.
Yeah.
And I feel like that also, you know, comes with part of the territory, is that like part of your job is to look a desirable way.
Right. It's
and
just unfortunate that these are the people that are setting the standards, and it's not attainable for everyone. And that's the other thing too. Like, women and people are going out and spending their money on things like Botox and peptides and NAD and lasers and all of this stuff that just your average Sheila down the street was not going to a med spa.
Don't talk about my mom like that.
That's just the first name that came to my mind, because your dad was just here.
Well, it also means girl in Australian or whatever, doesn't it? Oh, Sheila. Sheila means like, it's like slang for woman, I think, in Australia.
Well, there you
go.
There you go. You know, down the street was not going to a med spa and dishing out $1,000 for CO2 lasers.
Yeah.
And now people are. And like, I don't know. I just feel like it's so layered, because I think as a woman, you have every right to monetize your body if you want to, and you can. I mean, the Kardashians did it and like built an empire off of it for the most part, you know? But at the same time, I don't think that if you choose not to adhere to these beauty standards, that you should be seen as less valuable or punished for that. And unfortunately, you are. And there's no way
just by comparison.
Just by comparison. And yeah. And even just something as little as, and I've talked about this before, pretty privilege is a real thing. And like, it can be something as simple as like not being treated as well at a doctor's appointment with your child. Because if I go into an appointment put together in an outfit and makeup and hair, I get treated better.
Yeah.
And there's this assumption that like, oh, I'm a better mom because I'm pretty.
Yeah.
And that's real.
100%.
Tangible. I mean, you can feel it.
There's somebody I work with where like, when we're out in the field, she comes as she is, which I respect, and she does a good job, but you can tell the difference in the room of like people don't talk to her as much.
Yeah.
They don't. I think she kind of like rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And she doesn't talk any differently than like most people, and I think it really does have to do with the way she presents her physical self. Yeah. And like I respect her for it. She's good at her job, so like whatever. She doesn't seem to care, and like that's great. But yeah, I feel like it is a palpable thing, and you can't deny that what Nikki Glaser is saying is not true.
Exactly. I know.
And I think it is the difference for me too is the difference between celebrity and quote unquote real people.
Right.
You know, out here living where like we glamorize them so much, and now that like celebrity is crossed into influencerhood and social media, where these people that are just regular Joes are becoming celebrities and famous, it doesn't feel like this thing that celebrities do anymore.
Right.
It feels like something everybody does now.
I know,
and
it's
everyone
homogenous.
must do. Yeah.
One day we're going to wake up and we're all going to look exactly the same.
Well, it's so weird. I wonder if Kim Kardashian knows this, that like the face is Kim Kardashian's face. Everybody's getting that face. Yeah. The long, cylindrical, long nose, same hair. I mean, it's her face with like slight variations. Yeah. It's so crazy.
It is crazy.
I mean, and then other point Nikki Glaser made, which I found interesting, and I wonder your take on, is she was like, at some point, plastic surgery is going to be just like dyeing hair was at a certain time, where like everybody looked out on that and thought it was so insane and intense. And now look, dyeing your hair is just like whatever. And I feel like that's how we're going to be in 50, 30 years or whatever with plastic surgery. I feel like we should just embrace it and get over it because it's not that big a deal. And I don't know. I
disagree with that.
I disagree with that too. Plastic surgery is way more invasive
than dyeing your
hair.
Yeah. And
that may be the case.
Dyeing your hair is always temporary.
Right. And maybe that shift does happen, but should it?
No.
Is that really what we want?
It's not the same. Dyeing your hair is always temporary.
Yeah, exactly.
The hair will grow. The dye will come out. It'll fade. Plastic surgery is permanent. And when it does shift and change, there's consequences. Yeah. There's no real world consequences or real life consequences to dyeing your hair.
Right.
Maybe one time in a million somebody got chemically burned dyeing their hair or something. Yeah. But for the most part, there's no real life consequences to dyeing your hair.
Yeah, I didn't find
it's not the same.
A good comparison.
No, I disagree.
I don't know if I'm on board with that one.
I do think it's becoming much more common, and I do think it will be considered much more common, and yeah, maybe a little bit less. But at the end of the day, it's still a major operation, most of it. You're going under anesthesia.
Yeah.
You know, because we're not talking about Botox and lasers. Like, all that med spa stuff pretty much has become dyeing your hair.
Yeah.
But we're talking about augmentation. Yeah. Even fillers. There's consequences.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so, I don't know. Yeah, just ask Paige about the Botox consequences. She'll tell you she couldn't speak.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I was listening. I can't remember if this was on an episode or if I saw a clip, but she was like, I talk for a living and I can't speak.
Like her lips, because of her lips?
Something happened. Yeah, I guess she couldn't really like move her mouth or
weird.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, all to say, do whatever you want to your body. I don't think there should be shame attached to any of it. I just wonder, are we just perpetuating something that's not good for anybody?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Again.
You know what we need to do for Pop Culture Archives?
What?
Death Becomes Her.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, we'll do that one.
That is a classic.
Yeah, so if you want to watch Havoc, now's your chance.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to miss that film. We're gonna call it the film.
Do not want to miss. This is cinema, you guys. You guys is cinema.
Masterpiece.
All right, should we get in the weeds?
Yes.
Okay, so we are getting in the weeds. We have talked about Lena Dunham before, but she is doing the press circuit right now because her book is out. And so we want to talk about some of the interviews, some of the videos and interviews she's been doing. And then you've been reading her book.
Yes. Well, I'm listening to it.
Well,
I'm
same
be fully
thing.
transparent here. I'm listening to it on Spotify.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it. It's a good one. You know, I was realizing the other day that, like, I don't read books for enjoyment.
You don't?
I mean, all my books, this was pointed out to me, that like all my books are literature with a capital L.
Okay.
Like they're all, about race and serious topics. I don't just read like summer beach reads or like lighthearted reading or something funny. I need to incorporate more of that.
Yeah,
like,
you got to have a balance.
Yeah, like I think I don't read as much as I should because everything I read
is
like
too heavy.
Too heavy and takes a lot of like energy and focus
to like process and think about. Yeah.
So this has been a nice break. I mean, not that the topics and themes throughout the book aren't serious, but it feels, because it's a biography,
right?
And a lot of it is like she goes through like all of Girls.
Yeah,
like the production, the casting, the lead up. So it's like kind of juicy in some way, and it's more fun to listen to because obviously I love the show and I love her, but she does talk about a lot of serious themes. The biggest takeaway for me is just hearing her talk about her struggle with endometriosis, which, spoiler alert, if you haven't read the book, ultimately ends with her getting...
she's talked about that.
Yeah. Ultimately ends with her getting a hysterectomy. And then also just like her battle with being chronically ill, which just, God, it just sounds so horrible and relentless. And like, the reality of being a woman in the medical industry and just suffering. She needed to have her uterus taken out. And the fact that like a lot of doctors will not do that.
Yeah.
Especially to women of a certain age. Because it's just, your one purpose in life is to have children. I will say, though, she does have this conversation with the doctor where he posed it in a way that was a little bit different and enlightening, where he was like, he was a gynecologist who worked with a lot of endometriosis patients, an oncologist, and he said, like, I only take out uteruses of women when there is no other option. And not because I think women are baby making machines, like, but it completely changes who you are.
Yeah.
Because, so many of your hormones and like so much of you is connected to your uterus, and it just is. I mean, I guess that's true. But he was like, I've seen it happen, that like you remove this organ and it changes the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
And, like, you have to be ready for that. And I only do that in very drastic, no other option situations. And it's like, but when do we trust the person with the uterus to decide?
Exactly.
It's like she has gone through it. And then she finds out she has this genetic disorder too, on top of it, which like a lot of the things she thought were endometriosis were actually this like very rare genetic disorder she didn't know she had.
Yeah.
So man, I have a lot of sympathy for her, because like it must be so hard to be chronically ill in any way. Especially there's something about gynecological disorders that I think are harder for people to, I don't know, understand or empathize with. Mm-hmm. Like there's all this shame around. There's this shame
around it. Absolutely.
Your women's sexuality in general.
Yes.
And then reproduction, health. It's just like, for whatever reason, it's never a good enough reason for people to, not be fully functional.
Right.
Like everybody always, I think, thinks people are overplaying it,
right.
And looking for sympathy or just lazy. Like the number of times she described herself as like, people just think I'm lazy.
Yes.
It's just, oh man, my heart goes out to her, because that must have been so hard. I'm sure it continues to still be a struggle, but
yeah. And even just, we've talked about this so many times with like really having to advocate for yourself in the healthcare industry as a woman. But even just the fact that like we just don't have a lot of the research and information because it hasn't been done.
Yeah.
So not only do you have a harder time getting answers because people don't want to listen to you and it's hard to assert your voice, we also just like don't have as many of the answers for women as there are for men.
Yeah.
And it's
totally true.
Especially with gynecological issues and endometriosis. Is it endometriosis the one where like the only study that had been done for a long time was the one that compared how women who have endometriosis look physically compared to women who don't? And for a long time, that was like the only study.
Yeah. I mean, like there's only so many, doctors who know anything about it in the country.
That's crazy.
You know? Yeah.
And how many doctors know about erectile dysfunction or Peyronie's or the carrot?
No.
I mean, you know,
it's an epidemic and it must be solved. Yeah. And, it's just that her health is woven into her story of fame so deeply,
Yeah.
separated.
2 parallel stories. Yeah, for sure.
A really interesting listen. I've been enjoying it a lot. I think she's great. I think before we had talked about how, like, in a lot of this press, she's been saying, like, oh, one of her friends, like, well, you've been annoying people since kindergarten. And yeah, it's like, it's hard to listen to all these accounts of her health and be like, yeah, what people thought was her being annoying was just like her literally like stating what was going on with her body.
It was interesting to hear her say that in that interview. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I feel like so much of the hate was more centered around just people being offended by her body. And she says in that New York Times interview, and this just like absolutely broke my heart. She said this and I was like, it almost brought me to tears. I was like, that is so sad. She said, if I had known my own power, I would have behaved differently. She said there was so much rage about her body, and the show was about a person who had a negative perception of herself and made romantic and platonic relationship choices that reflected that. And she says, looking back, I felt sad because looking at myself and knowing that that's what so many women's bodies looked like, because she was talking about how she's looking at herself as just this kind of slip of a girl at age 26 and, knowing that so many other women's bodies looked like that. And she said she was looking back at the pictures and kind of seeing this progression like throughout the series. And she says, I was so full of light. And looking at the photos and footage over the course of the show, I could just watch the light go out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so heartbreaking.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And like the excitement of all of it, how quickly it happened, this getting girls, you know, and just like all the things you learn and you don't realize about yourself till it's over. Like I was thinking today on my walk, I was like, I'm going to be 40 in 2 years. And like,
I'm going to be 40 in 6 months.
I don't feel like a 40-year-old woman. I certainly don't feel like the wise, confident person I perceive 40-year-old women to be.
Yeah.
And like, if I wonder if like when I'm 50, if I'll look back on my 38-year-old self and be like, oh, like I wonder what I'll think of her.
Right.
I
know.
I imagine that's how she feels, like looking back and just seeing like this version of yourself.
Yeah. And then, she was talking a little bit about her illness and going through all of that. And she says something along the lines of like the highest value is for people is of just being able to like go and like do all these things. And this ties into how we view people as like healthy and unhealthy, fat and skinny, well and unwell. And I feel like even the word like well and wellness is like so coded.
Yeah.
And then she was talking about specifically the gynecological illness and your sort of feeling as like a vital young person is diminished. And your feeling of being a viable partner is extremely diminished. And I feel like we see that like play out in other pop culture. It made me think of women who feel shame around reproductive issues. And I don't want to minimize anyone's pain, but I think there's a larger picture when we talk about like the shame around it versus like the disappointment. It goes back to like how we value ourselves, and not being able to bear children or having a more challenging time conceiving and bearing children doesn't make you less valuable. And I think that's something that we really struggle with as women. And that's because so much value's been placed on that. And I feel like it also made me think of those episodes of Sex and the City with Charlotte. Again, I don't want to minimize like pain around wanting to conceive a child. I know that that's very complex and layered, but just it's more just the shame around it. I just think you're already dealing with the pain of wanting a child and not having one. We shouldn't have to feel any shame around that.
No. Yeah, and the fact that like women are only prioritized when they have the potential to be a mother or during pregnancy. And then the minute you have the child, no one cares about you anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's only when you're in the conceiving state
Right.
that anyone is like, oh, yes, we cherish you.
Yeah.
You know, and then the second you have the kid, it's just like, yeah, go back to being, you're no longer like a sentient being anymore. Yeah, it's really complex. And,
it is.
Yeah.
And you know, we talked about that on, I don't know, a previous episode. I think you said shame is a poison, and it really is. And we have got to figure out how to like separate the shame out of some of these things. And we've just built it up, and it just makes the situation so much worse.
Yeah.
A situation that already sucks for people. And then you feel like your value as a woman is almost non-existent at that point, and that's just not the case. And the
book is called Famesick, and she opens the book with, you know, my name became a slur. Like hearing people talk about using my name and then realizing that they were using that as an insult, like oh, she's Lena Dunham type, or like, oh, you know, where it's like you're no longer a person. And just like all the things that come with that. I mean, yeah. So she's had a tough go. She's also had a lot of traumatic experiences. The one that's really stuck out to me on her kind of tour of
her press
publicity is the Drew Barrymore show she was on. And she said something that I feel like really resonates and harkens to so many of the things, the beauty standards we talk about on here, which is like they're talking about plastic surgery. And the last sentence was kind of like, we say we're doing it for ourselves, but like, how do we even know anymore?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, exactly. Like, how do we know? Is that just something we say?
I know.
So we're like, yeah, we're doing it because it makes me feel good. Like, but
why?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Why does it make me feel good?
Are we examining why that is?
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, Drew Barrymore was just like, oh my God, my mind's blown. It's like, exactly. Like,
I feel like
how do we know? The waters are so muddied.
Yes.
You know, it's like, we have no idea
what's
why
the
we're doing
difference
this anymore.
between, and I know we talk about this all the time, where it's like, it's hard to examine the true reason, you know, because sure, do I like outfits, and does putting makeup on and doing my hair make me feel good? Yeah. Do I do that for myself because it makes me feel good about myself? Yeah. But why?
Yeah. Why does that make me feel good about
exactly.
myself? Yeah.
And like it all goes back to the thing we know it goes back to.
And because when I'm sitting at home alone in my apartment, I'm not putting makeup on.
Exactly.
I'm not putting a cute outfit on.
Right.
I'm only doing it when I'm around other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. Dude, I know. And I found this interesting too. And she was talking about some of the experiences that she's had, that maybe some abusive relationships and some of those sort of more extreme sexual relationships she's had that maybe in hindsight like weren't healthy. Mm-hmm. And she was sort of talking about, I can't remember how she prefaced it, but sort of this idea of people saying things or thinking things like, well, why is this always happening to you? Maybe you're the common denominator. And she made this statement about, it kind of plays into victim blaming a little bit. And this was something she had talked about with her therapist. And her therapist was like, no, this is what happens. Like, these experiences build up in you. And then people, predatory type people who are out there looking to cross boundaries, recognize you as a person that might be susceptible. And it makes total sense, you know, when we talk about how, you know, it's like, well, why does she always go for those kind of guys? Or why does she always end up in these kind of relationships? And I think we do that especially with women, where we want to blame them. And it's like, well, just pick better, choose better, recognize the signs. And it's like, no, like, it's still the fault of the predator, of the person looking to cross the boundaries. But it does make you, as these experiences build up in you, more recognizable to those people who are looking to take advantage of things. Yeah. And it was just a shift in how to kind of explain why that happens and take the blame off of the victim in the situation or the
Right.
survivor.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. We have a tendency to victim blame in these situations, but the psychology behind it and the way she explained it in just those few sentences was like so spot on.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really eye-opening. Yeah, and she kind of refers to that in the book sometimes too, of like, she goes through a lot of these relationships she's experiencing that, like, you know, in hindsight were, you know, not all of them were completely toxic, but some of them were, or, you know, toxic elements. And I think I like her writing a lot because at points she kind of goes back and is like, but at this point I had decided that being liked and chosen was all I needed. You know, she can in hindsight now be like, although I understand this was not the right choice, internally this is what I was going through.
Right.
And a lot of that is socialized behaviors, socialized norms of like,
Yeah.
I just needed to be the good girl. I just needed to please. I needed to do everything right. I was given this gift given this responsibility more of this show. And like, it played out in all facets of her life.
Right.
You know? So she does a really good job of like framing what exactly she was thinking and going through for all these stages. But
yeah, at another point she says, she's talking about like placing herself in a situation that she knew was at least to the outside world unsavory and trying to find some shred of dignity or romance in it. And it honestly, our pop culture archives topic for today is the movie Havoc. And it's kind of a parallel. I feel like that's kind of what Anne Hathaway was doing a little bit.
mm-hmm.
It reminded me of one of the underlying themes of that movie when I heard her say that.
Yeah.
I also think there's this idea that like men want us to be a certain way in the bedroom, and that can affect like how we behave sexually. Like this idea of like, oh, I need to keep him, and if he's not like staying interested and satisfied, like he's gonna stray. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I think also just with like everything that's out there with pornography, there's just such a skewed view of what a sex life is really like.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
Absolutely.
yeah, and I think both men and women have a disjointed idea of what it really is like.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so that
or
affects
what the other person really wants or
and
needs.
expects.
Yeah.
And I think that can cause some situations of people doing things that they don't really want to do and that they're not really enjoying, but they think this is it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And that, like, it is so funny because I think what the other one thinks, what one party thinks the other party wants is so far off. But
right.
like, no one's ever just going to say,
right,
I actually don't like
want to do this,
that.
or I have no interest in this. Yeah. No, I know. And then something she said that I thought was like so profound, and I think it's something that we all know, but like just hearing her say it was like, yeah. She was talking about Adam's character, and she says, I didn't write Adam's character to be a romantic hero.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of it, people were like, oh, I want a boyfriend like that. And then she says, what we desire cannot be untangled from what we have been through and what we fear.
Yeah.
And that, like, I have goosebumps.
Yeah.
That is so profound. It is so true. I think we all understand that to a point and know that to a point, but just like hearing it said out loud, it's like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We haven't come to fully realize that. But
Yeah.
I think we all see it in our past behavior of like, why did I do that? Why did I accept that? Why was I interested in that for so long?
And every experience, past experience, affects the next experience. And it's kind of tied into that whole victim blaming thing that we talked about earlier too. And I think sometimes we joke about this as women where we're like, you know, oh, I love a red flag, where it's like, it's of course a joke, but at the same time, like, yeah, we are attracted to things that we know are bad for us.
Yeah. It's
And
the excitement of it all. Yeah.
And then there was a point in the interview where she was talking about just like being young, and she says when you're in college and you're out at night and you're looking around at all your 15 guy friends and you're like, who's gonna kiss who tonight? And there's something in the air all the time, but it might mean nothing, but it's ripe with possibility. And she was talking about how just any scrap of male attention was gonna elevate me. Yeah. And I was like, I feel so seen.
God, I know. It's so true. I think that's like so we're all doing.
Yeah.
You're looking for validation
Yeah.
from the opposite sex, and that is the best drug there is.
Oh, absolutely. You know? And it's just when I think back on all of those times of like going out and like going to shows and going to the bars and going wherever, like, yeah, the ultimate goal was to like find somebody to flirt with. And that was always like top of mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And there was always like a little level of disappointment when it didn't happen.
Yeah. Like you're always under the guise like I'm going out to have fun with my friends, but like
right.
That's what you were always
hoping for and really looking for. I know. I remember my stepmom saying this when I was younger, and I wish I would have taken it more seriously. The women who have lived it are the wisest. Just listen. And like, I'm hoping that like I can instill this in my daughters a little bit. But I remember her saying, I can't remember like what prompted it, but she was like, you are, however old I was, 21, 22 years old. She's like, you just need to focus on having fun with your friends, your girlfriends, have a good time, have fun with them. She's like, and don't worry about guys or a relationship until 25, 26. Then if you want to find somebody, find somebody. She goes, but don't, just put it out of your mind and have fun with your friends.
I mean, if only you could heed that advice.
Yeah, if only I could go back and listen.
Right,
and be like, I'm like, what is she?
It was like at that age, there's no. You have to learn for yourself. There's no.
Yeah, I know.
But no, that's brilliant advice, and I wish I would have done that too.
I know. And I think she said something along the lines of like, you won't be disappointed if you just have fun with your friends.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And just worry about your friendships.
Prioritize the right thing. Yeah. Yeah, because you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because like, what are you going to do? Meet Prince Charming every single night you go out?
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
No, I know. I will say, and this is like, I don't know what this really says, but, you know, you do have that disappointment when things didn't pan out or you didn't meet someone or whatever. And I remember after meeting my husband and getting married, I remember like going out kind of like the first few times after, maybe it was actually before we got married, but like I knew he was the one and that was it. I remember the relief of like, oh, I can just go out and have fun.
Yeah, that's so real.
And like, I don't know how I feel about saying that, because it's like, I don't want people to think, again, we talk about how like the ultimate path to contentedness is not a relationship. But I do remember that being like kind of palpable, like going out and being like, oh, I can just like have fun, relax and have fun because I met him.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, but that's honest and real. Like, as much as we know logically that being in a relationship, finding marriage, being chosen is not the ultimate goal, it's internalized that it is. And it's something we have to combat within ourselves all the time, because society tells us that is.
I know.
So it's like, as much as we know it's true, our body doesn't, you know, our mind is like still looking for that,
right?
You know?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's the same thing about like being pretty is not the most important thing. I don't care about looks, but
right?
I do.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I have to work at it all the time.
Right. I know. One thing she said in the interview where I was like, "This is us. This is our podcast." Maybe she'll come on. She said, I'm not interested in sweeping statements about female sexuality or the experience. I'm interested in long-term exploration of these topics that I will return to again and again until I'm an old lady.
Yes.
And I was like, that's us. Right. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we're never going to figure it out. we're just going to keep yapping about it.
And we're going to keep yapping about it. And we're going to keep beating the dead horse.
Yeah.
We're not interested in these sweeping statements.
Yeah.
We want
nuance.
We want to get into the nuance and the complexity. And if that means we talk about some of these same things over and over and over again
Yeah.
until we make some headway.
We're gonna.
Yeah,
We're gonna keep
absolutely.
evolving and learning. Yeah.
That's right. So thank you, Lena.
Thank you, Lena.
Maybe I'll just shoot my shot and she'll come on the podcast.
Hey. I mean, I think she'd love our pod.
I think she would too.
Yeah. Cool.
Sick.
We'll get her and, you know what we should have? We should have her and Scott Galloway on together.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Oh, man. She would
If
roast
anybody
him.
would eviscerate him,
Yeah.
it would be her. Yeah, maybe one day we'll get him on the pod together.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a heck of an episode.
I mean, yeah, it would be great.
We wouldn't even have to do anything. I bet they would just.
No.
Go
No.
at it, yeah.
We would just be silent.
Yeah.
It would just be the two of them. Oh, okay. Are we wrapped up on old Lena Dunham
I
then?
think so.
All right. Should we
we-
grape and gripe?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
All right. My gripe goes out to. It's another driving gripe. Actually, it's a pedestrian gripe. When you're walking through a crosswalk and like there's a car stopped for you, but it just like slowly creeps through, like
Right.
gets right up on you as you're like almost done crossing. It's just like, just give me 2 seconds.
Right.
All right, get off my ass.
And you're not getting there any faster.
No. And I'm doing the arm.
Right. I'm
Like, what
giving
else do you want from me?
What more do you want? No, I agree. I agree.
Just wait.
It's giving entitled.
It really is.
It
And
is.
It's like, it's so uncomfortable when there's a car creeping up, getting close to making contact with your body.
And I'm going to go so far as to say this is the men doing this. It's a man driver.
Yeah, I mean, if I have to think back, it's typically a man
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I hate to say it.
Hate to
but
say it, but
the data
heard it here first.
The data proves it. At least
We hate to say it, but you also heard it
my
here.
anecdotal evidence proves that it's the men.
Yes, it most certainly is. My gripe can translate into driving, but it's just choosing the wrong line. At the grocery store, the
Yeah.
checkout line, choosing the wrong lane, choosing the wrong pickup line.
I really hate that. You know where I've noticed it?
Where?
Drive-throughs now. That drive-throughs have 2 lanes.
And it splits.
And it splits, and then inevitably I'm like, they were here after me.
Right.
But they picked the right lane.
Right. Or the bank.
Yeah.
You ever like pull up to an empty one at the bank? There'll be like 1 or 2 cars in the other ones, and you pull up to the one that's open, and somehow they all go through before
Right.
your thing ever
I know.
person ever dings you.
Like, I can't bail. Like, how many times am
I
I going
know.
to bail? You know?
I know. But
Yeah.
then you run into that at the grocery store where it's like, okay, do I switch?
Right.
I know.
But you got it.
You never make the right decision.
I know. Never. All right. My grape goes out to going to the plant store and buying plants in the summer.
Yes.
This makes me feel so adult.
Yeah, it's very grown up.
Yeah. And
You know
like-
you've made it when you're buying plants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, everyone at the plant store always looks so happy and just like, I've made it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to do today but buy some plants. Which
Like
is so-
I was able to prioritize purchasing plants today.
Right, and they're not cheap, so it's like, you know, it's a luxury item to buy really
Absolutely.
nice plants. Yeah, I went to Maze, shout out Maze in Bloomington, which is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like very pleasant there.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it definitely feels like, yeah, people at the plant store have got it figured out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm here.
I'm amongst them. I'm one of them.
I've done it.
I've made it. Yeah, I always get nervous taking the kids there because they have those giant ceramic planters.
Pots, yeah.
Like the size of me.
Yeah,
And I'm
you
just
can
like,
fit
my
in
kid
them.
is going to domino. I just foresee it. And I'm like, all of these ceramic planters.
I know.
My grape is going out to the one and only Bob Seger.
Yeah.
This man, banger after banger after banger.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't have expected it, but like, what else does he sing? Night
Hollywood
Moves?
Nights.
No.
Hollywood Nights, Night Moves, Turn the Page, Main Street.
Oh, down on
Main Street.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Old time rock and roll.
No way.
Yes.
I used to clog to that song.
Of course you do. Okay. Are there videos of this?
Oh, man. I don't know if there are.
We
My
need to get
family-
Sheila on the case.
My family wasn't like a video family.
Yeah.
They weren't even really that great at taking photos. So Luckily for me, I don't think there's video evidence. Not any that like we
dang.
have contact. There used to be some show choir video evidence, but I think those are long gone. At this
Yeah, you
point
don't know how to acquire those.
Yeah.
Darn. That's one I would love to see. You clog into the Siegs.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yes.
that was one of our like old trustees.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, he's got a lot of hits, and he did it right. He like made his music, put out his records, did his touring, whatever, and then he just like disappeared from the limelight. He's not in the public eye. He doesn't do like interviews or any kind of like publicity. He just like,
That is the way to do it.
yeah.
And his music was just like, nobody can be mad at Bob Seger songs.
No.
'Cause they're just like so,
No.
you know, good to listen to.
Absolutely.
Nothing controversial.
Nothing
happening.
controversial.
Well, I haven't really gone through Bob Seger lyrics, but they seem pretty
Yeah,
benign.
I mean, we've uncovered some stuff here on the pod. We're not totally sure, but yeah, I mean, he has that song. What's that one where he talks about how people always say, is that a woman or a man? They're talking about him, though.
Oh,
Like, people are like, is that a woman or a
I
man?
thought that was the lyrics to the song. I was like, well, that could go either
what
way.
song is that? No, I gotta look it up. Is that Main Street? What song
Down
is that?
on Main Street.
And then Still the Same. That's Bob Seger.
Still the same, but no, is that it? No, I think I'm singing a different song with the words still the same.
You're to a different melody. Yeah. Or,
Still the one. That's the one I was
yes,
singing.
yes. Bob Seger. What song is that? Turn the Page. Okay.
Turn the
Yeah.
page.
Which describes the harassment he and his bandmates face from patrons at truck stops due to their long hair while touring.
Oh, what dang.
Interesting. Gender. Bob Seger is male. Nice.
Good to know.
Yeah. The song was inspired by experiences at Midwestern truck stops where people would stare at the band's long hair and make jokes. So yeah, if you haven't tuned into any Bob Seger recently, I highly recommend. 10 out of
Check it out.
10.
I feel like it's real good drinking music. You know, it's real
Oh,
good
yeah.
like office lounge bar.
Yes. Or like somebody's back deck
Just like, yeah.
in the summer.
Is the
Little Bob
Siegs
Seger.
considered yacht rock?
I don't know. Let's genre here.
I feel like yacht rock is so
Like
hard to nail down.
Yeah. Bob Seger genre. Heartland rock, roots rock, classic rock.
Rock, yeah.
Yeah. Heartland rock. That seems to embody it. I don't know what Heartland rock means, but
Heartland rock?
yeah,
Yeah, like the Heartland, like Midwest kind of.
Yeah,
Midwest considered the Heartland?
I guess. Sure. Yeah. All right.
Great.
There you have it.
Nice. So we'll have to be
There he is.
raid into the Siegs at some point.
Absolutely.
Oh, he looks like a nice guy.
Yeah, he does. The
He has
silver.
great hair.
Yeah, for sure. The silver bullet band. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I feel like his songs were not nearly as misogynistic as many of his peers.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
He's not talking about dating 16-year-olds in any of his
No,
songs.
I don't think so. So no rag dolls for Bob Seger. All right.
All right. Thanks for
Thanks for listening.
Bye.